Basically, I'm a soldier. A leader is always defined not by just leading, which he will lead, is defined by the sort of leaders he's able to churn and make more leaders. Will you allow your house to be burned? Will you allow your father to be injured? You didn't know when you went out. You didn't know whether a bullet was coming for you or a bullet was missing you. But fortunately, those bullets which flew never had my name on that.
हेलो गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। आज मैं आपको एक बहुत ही खास पर्सन से मिलाने वाला हूं जिन्हें सम्मानित किया गया है पीवीएसएम परम वशिष्ठ सेवा मेडल, जिन्हें सम्मानित किया गया है एवीएसएम अति वशिष्ठ सेवा मेडल, जिन्हें सम्मानित किया गया है वीएसएम वशिष्ठ सेवा मेडल से, और जो बहुत ही रेयर लोगों को नॉमिनेट किया जाता है ऑनररी एडी-कैंप प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया फॉर हिज एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी सर्विसेज एज वेल एज डिस्टिंक्ट सर्विसेज। सो टू यू सर।
शुक्रिया इंट्रोडक्शन का। मैं एक साधारण सैनिक हूँ और एक भाग्यशाली सैनिक हूँ जो इस देश का सैनिक बनने की मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली। और मैं एक ऐसे परिवार से आता हूँ जो सैनिकों का परिवार है, और इस खुशी के लिए, इस ब्लेसिंग के लिए मेरे पास कोई शब्द नहीं है, क्योंकि देश के लिए सैनिक बनना एक बहुत भाग्यशाली, मेरे हिसाब से एक बहुत भाग्यशाली आशीर्वाद है। और ऊपर से एक सैनिक को टैंकमैन बनना, वो तो मेरे लिए क्या कहें, लाजवाब है। इससे बेहतर शायद मेरी जिंदगी नहीं हो सकती।
General Shivane sir, how you started your career and how you make yourself a person who started his career from school, and right now you have reached this position that you are advising to the main members or to the governing members of Economic Council of India, or to the, I can say, high level authority person.
Okay, basically I'm a soldier and I come from a family of warriors. My father was a Second World War warrior, a renowned officer who had fought all the wars post-independence, and therefore my upbringing and my life has revolved around being a soldier. And therefore I take great pride in saying that the blood in my veins is olive green, my heart is colored by the tricolor, and it's always a privilege to be a soldier of the finest army in the world and to be leader of the bravest men and the most gallant men on this earth. Well, I started my career and I remember as a young boy, schoolboy, going with seeing my father in uniform, which was always a matter of great pride, and I always felt equating myself one day to wear that uniform. I visited military hospitals post-war with my mother to go and speak to the war-wounded people and to bring some cheer in them. I always was fascinated by the tanks which stood on the crossroads as a memorial, and so therefore my life revolved around seeing the uniform with a lot of passion. I had an elder brother who unfortunately just after he was commissioned sacrificed his life in the line of duty, and his name today is in the war memorial, and I salute his braveness. We are a family where most of my relatives, even my sister is married to a Fauji. My wife comes from a second generation Fauji background. So the tall and short of it is that being a soldier is something which I would message that at the end of your journey of life, if you got to look back and say, have I led a life worth it? Have I contributed and lived a life which would be remembered? I would say that the respect, the honor that you get and the joy that you get being a soldier is certainly unparalleled. And therefore, I joined the school and I was always very focused that I would want to be a soldier. I've seen my father, I told you, not only in uniform, I've seen him in 1962 war, where he went on a mission, and for 3 months, for 3 full months, he was declared missing, lost or dead, not known. And our family was in trauma. We were in Dehradun. I was a very young child, 5 years old. But I still remember that period because we didn't know whether he was there or he was not there. But then my mother was a pillar of strength. And she always believed with positivity that he would return. And he did after 3 months, after completing his mission, and for which he was awarded as a Lieutenant Colonel Ati Vishesh Seva Medal by the President of India. Later, when I lost my brother and I saw the sort of turbulence in the family, turbulence in terms of the grief that was there. But my father never, ever, I don't even remember him ever shedding a tear in front of me. I do remember him going to the washroom, locking himself and crying for the loss of a 20 years old son. I have seen my mother, a different personality after the loss. So when I decided after school to join the army, it was a decision that I was not very sure would be accepted by my parents. After my schooling, I had medical subjects and I qualified in a medical college, Gandhi Medical College in Hyderabad. My father was that time posted there. And I would have joined and become a doctor. But that was not my passion. My passion was always to wear a uniform, one, and two, to be a tankman. That was my passion. And that's the message I want to leave for the youth, that your passion must drive your destiny. Your passion must drive the work, the hard work you put in. Dream big. Dream with your eyes open. Let your dreams scare you. But make your dreams come true. Because if you are focused and if you're passionate for the destination that you look for yourself, no hurdle is big enough to stop you from reaching there. So when I got selected for the medical college to be a doctor, simultaneously I had given the exam for National Defence Academy. And I qualified for that. So I had to ask my father, because they had lost a young son, 20 years old, on the Chinese border. So I had to ask him that should I join the army? And he was a brave man. He was a Second World War veteran who had fought the Burma campaign with General Slim. And he told me, he said, son, where is your heart? So I said, my heart is in joining the army. So he said, I have no doubts. I have no doubts. You must join where your heart is. You must join where your passion is. And that's how I joined National Defence Academy. And then National Defence Academy, there was a phase, a learning phase. And but in those 3 years and 1 year in IMA, I was always passionate on one thing, that now that I am destined to join the army, I must join the Armored Corps or the Tank Corps as such and become a tank man, because that was something which I always wanted. That's not an easy thing to do, because during academy days we had the best slot going for the to the Armored Corps, the top merit lot, and so it was not an short thing. And when they asked me for my choices of service, I had written Armored Corps in all 3 choices. So the short and tall of it is, at the end of it, I did get Armored Corps, and I got one of the finest regiments, 7th Light Cavalry, which is more than 200 years old. It was raised in 1784 and fought, has got the largest number of battle honors and theatre honors, and fought all pre-independence and post-independence wars. A glorious regiment who taught me a lot. My men, my JCOs, my officers taught me to become a tank man. And that's how today I'm in front of you as a tank man who finally, after 4 decades, retired as the Director General of Mechanized Forces. From a young second lieutenant troop leader wearing 1 star, I went to the highest rank of a Lieutenant General commanding the Indian Army's Mechanized Forces. So that's how my journey has been in short.
That's literally great, sir, and hats off you, sir, and thanks to your parents who allowed you to join the Indian Army.
So my message I would to your audience, I would like to say is that, or I will put it in a few quotes, and those quotes are that the flag of our country does not flutter because of the winds.
Yeah.
It flutters because of the last breath of our soldiers who have sacrificed their life for the country. And I've seen this. I was in charge of the anti-militancy operations that was 96 to 99 in Kashmir. I've seen people sacrificing life, and believe you me, there can be nothing greater than this, because when you get commissioned at 17 and you at 21 you write your will in favor of the nation, and then in spite of knowing all odds you faced the bullets. It's not easy. And therefore, there's another one which I often quote in my talks is, it's again a quote, मिलते हैं जिंदगी में आशिक कई, मगर वतन से खूबसूरत सनम कोई नहीं, नोटों में लिपट कर हीरों को चिपक कर मरे हैं कई, मगर तिरंगे से लिपटा कफन इससे बेहतर कोई नहीं. So that is how motivation, nationalism of a Fauji is. For him, when I hear the national anthem, when I see the tricolor of our country, believe you me, the adrenaline levels in my veins still go up. Because a soldier never retires. A soldier is always a soldier for life. And today, if my nation even tells me today to go to the border and to serve the nation, I would most willingly accept. And if I have a wish today, a genie who asked me that here is something that you can wish for, I would say, give me a life back of uniform, send me back 45 years back, and let me restart this wonderful journey called Forge.
That's literally great, sir. And sir, just one thing here. Literally, I believe the armed forces life or the person who is in armed force, it's literally a way of life. It's not only about the career. And if you are choosing just to see that yeah, my career is going to be good one if I choose the armed forces, then I believe it's not a good one.
Absolutely.
If you are saying that it's literally a way of life, and if you will go that way, then definitely your personality, your behavior, as well as your mindset definitely improve.
Absolutely. So, why we say that it's a way of life? Because the camaraderie that you have, the bonding that you have, irrespective of the rank, whether it's officers, JCOs, your men, is such that you're a family whom you're willing to give your life for each other. When I sat in a tank with a 3-man crew, I was there and my gunner and my driver of the tank. And we used to do our exercises, training, preparing for war. But we were a team. We were a family. Today I have visited my retired JCOs, my retired men in their villages, in their homes. They call me and we laugh, we drink together and we recapture old memories, because army is a way of life. And in this way of life, it's not only the officer and the men. It's about families. It's about the ladies. It's about the children. The ladies have a role. When we go to war, the senior ladies, like when we were in training or we were preparing for war, there were war clouds. My wife would go down to the JCOs and other ranks, Jawans, wives, give them solace, talk to them, give them confidence so that they don't remain too concerned, and give a bonding that we are all together doing something for the nation. So, when you join as a second lieutenant, you don't join that I'm going to become a general. It doesn't happen that way. You join that I am going to be with my men, I'm going to be a leader of my men, and I'm going to lead them, and I'm going to stand by them. Come what may, come what adversity comes, I am there, and you have to lead by example. That is a way of life. That's how you bond. And when you talk of an organization, you talk of Imandari, Wafadari, Zimmedari. You talk of your home, which is your regiment. You talk of Naam, Namak or Nishan. That's a sort of bonding. And this way of life doesn't end with uniform. Today I'm still so closely bonded with my fraternity. I'm so closely bonded with my course-mates from NDA. I'm so closely bonded with the men that I commanded. So life carries on, irrespective of what you wear a uniform. And that is how it's a way of life. And believe you me, it's the best life you can ever lead. it's not the easiest of life. It is, there are tough times, there are difficult times, there are pressures, there are nights together when you don't sleep. There are times when you are such low sub-zero temperature where survival is also a threat. There are times when you move out, you don't know the bullets that are flying, which is the bullet meant for you. But yet, you learn to overcome. Fear is natural, but overcoming it and moving ahead is more important. And that's how it happens. That's how it, because then you love your country, you love your men, and you're there with always there. So, a leader is always defined not by just leading, which he will lead. Is defined by the sort of leaders he's able to churn and make more leaders. Is defined by 5 C's, which is competence, character, compassion, courage, and camaraderie. These 5 C's make him a holistic leader, a leader who evolves from a small member of the family to the head of the family with equal joy of being a part of the greater Fauji family. So it's not, that's the difference between a leader and a manager. Fauj is your home, it's not an office. Fauj is with your passion to do something for your country. It's not about profit and losses. So that is why it's a way of life.
Literally, it's a great answer, sir. And so, what's your thought about Agnivir scheme? Government has started to promoted it for everyone, so that everyone get aware and everyone just get some time, or I can say, moment of life where they can arrange themselves, they can manage themselves for a specific time, and they can live a good life. So, what's your thought about the Agnivir scheme?
See, I have always had my views on Agnivir. It's a positive way in many angles because you give an opportunity to the youth to serve the nation. You give them an opportunity to realize what a soldier has to go through. So to that extent, it is good, but it must not be looked at something which is meant for pension saving or for cost saving, because defense of the country and the quality of its soldiers can never be equated to money. It's insurance, and the very best must be there. Having said that, they must need a complete training, not a truncated training. Training which looks at their physical battle fitness, their technical and tactical skills, so that they are frontline soldiers right from the beginning. Maybe we would see how the truncated training aspects come in, because that will give greater responsibility for the units to continue the training. I think when they go back to the society, and a large portion of them who may not be fortunate enough to continue would get back to the society, they are a rich resource if you tap them. And if you don't tap them, then I'm afraid you could have a frustrated trained lot in an era where we are seeing increasingly world over mercenaries being involved and going into the wrong direction. So it's critical that you train them, you empower them, you give them the experience, and then for heaven's sake utilize them in the right direction for the benefit of the nation. Make sure that they all get the sort of employment that they deserve, so that continue to be motivated, continue to perform, and continue to be a rich resource for the nation. Today, when India has moved from, in the world arena, from being a spectator to a player in world politics and world geopolitics, today, when India says something, the world not only hears, nods, and acknowledges. India is today on the rise. And to sustain this, not only we have a large population, but we have the largest youth bulge. And this largest youth bulge today must be a positive for the nation. And therefore, skilling, education, and resource management of this youth bulge today is an important factor for the nation in its future trajectory. So, I think the scheme is good. It needs to undergo some modifications, some assurances, which must mature. It should not have been launched in a hurry. It should have been test bedded, so that when it is launched, it should have had its manifestation and in the best possible manner. Look, in school you learn a lesson and then you give a test. But in life, you are tested first and then you learn a lesson.
Yeah.
In the army, there is no place for runners up. You either win or you lose. So therefore, the nation must invest in the very best. The nation must invest and train in the very best manner so that we fight tomorrow's wars in the manner the threats of tomorrow are going to come in the technologies that matter. And that's why I recently, April this year, got a book released on professional military education of the 21st century warrior, where I've looked at future leaders and the future training. It's become one of the national and the international bestsellers in its category as such. But what I want to mention is, irrespective of the entry of the soldier and its leaders, they must emerge as the very top best professionals. Then only the defense of a nation is in safe hands.
Yeah, so right, sir. So congratulations for the book that you have published.
Right.
And so one more thing, you have greatly differentiated between the, I can say, runner-up in real life, runner-up or winner.
Between?
Runner-up and winner. We don't have any choices. Either you win, either you lose in army. And that we have to understand. That we have to focus, that we have to only win. That's the nature
That's
we have
right.
to improve.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So in today's generation, everyone is thinking.
See, the winning is it's more mental than physical, right?
Yeah, right.
Because if you decide that you're going to win this, impossible is also I am possible. So you must have a victorious will, and that's what, irrespective of the army, my message to your audience is, have a victorious will. Do your whatever assignment, whatever job you've got, whatever task you've got, do it with a hope of success, not a fear of failure. Right? Find solutions to a problem. Don't find problems in a solution. It may be difficult, but you will be able to solve it. Don't say that I may be able to solve it, but it is difficult. So, between a winner and a loser, all that I'm trying to say, it is it is a mental blockade. Didn't it happen in Kargil? Something all other armies would have said it's impossible to climb 15,000 plus feet. And not only the weather faced bullets from top downhill and yet continue to move up and capture those heights. They're impossible, but it became possible. My own regiment, soon after the independence, 1948, 1st of November, Zojila, at the Zojila Pass, where Ladakh was under threat, the Pakistanis had come and had blocked Ladakh. It would have been cut off from Kashmir. But then this regiment innovated, took its tanks at a pass which was unthinkable, and when they descended and the Pakistanis saw tanks coming, they couldn't believe their eyes that such a thing can happen, and they ran in fear, and Ladakh was safe. So therefore, whatever task we do it with a positive mindset, do it with a victorious will, and say to yourself, come what may, till my last breath, I am going to be a winner and nothing can stop me. When you say that to yourself, believe you me, nothing will stop me. Nothing will stop me.
That's a great, sir. And so you have conducted multiple successful operations. But during that operation, if I can say there is something going wrong or something went wrong, that your course mate, when you are like as a soldier, you are like deployed to the I can say on a specific area, and your course mate are going or were dead. So that time, what keeps you motivated that you can like?
The greatest motivation for a soldier is his unit.
Okay.
Right? I cannot be the one discredited for my unit's history of valor, history of bravery, history of success, to be the one to bring dishonor to my unit.
Okay.
I cannot be the one who can let down my men when everything seems difficult. I cannot get back home and look into the eyes of my family, my neighbors, and say that I failed. So therefore, in the army or in the defense forces, when you go for operations, whether it is war, whether it is anti-militancy operations, whether it is internal security duties, it is something that you will inevitably come across difficulties. And the joy is when you look at those difficult times and overcome it, because you have to take risks. If you don't take risks, there will be no pain, and if there will be no pain, there will be no gain. There will be no opportunities. And I'll give you an example besides the one in Kashmir Valley. But I'll give you an example of internal security duties. It was happening during, I was a young captain, I think, or maybe a young major, and Samana was the place in Punjab. Mandal commission riots were taking place, and I was told to take a column of 60 men, 60, 70 men, because the government institution and the security institution had failed and had run away. The police stations were vacant, the government buildings were vacant, the telephone exchange had been burnt, and there was a mob was with full of anger. They were on the streets with not only not weapons, but maybe petrol bombs and maybe mashals and rods and all that. Now, that's when I entered that city or the place. And when I entered, I said, we'll go straight away to the most difficult spot where the mob was there and they were getting into violence. Because if we go into the softer spots, we're not going to stop this. So let's go to the. So we went there. And when we went there, about 200 meters away, I could see the street was filled with youth, with other people, extremely angry, extremely emotional, shouting, banging, and violence in their head. So I told my guys, I said, okay, ऐसा करो आप, गाड़ी रोको इधर ही, मैं उतर के जाऊंगा, I'll go down, उनसे बात करूंगा, उनको समझाऊंगा, उनको थोड़ा सा एहसास दिलाऊंगा and cool them down. So my men, my JCOs, जो हमारे साहब, आप बीच में कैसे जाओगे, उनको तो आप देखो उनका कैसे गुस्सा चढ़ा हुआ है और क्या क्या हाथ में, आप ऐसे चले जाओगे, आपके साथ 2 गनमैन भेज देते हैं, नहीं, जो वो मत करो, उनको भरोसा होना चाहिए. After all, they are not enemies, they are misguided, emotionally charged, angry people. So I'll go alone. So I went alone and I went in the middle of them. I told them, look, आपकी फौज आई है, आपकी फौज आई है. अगर आपकी कोई भी परेशानी है, कोई भी शिकार गिरवा है, कोई भी इससे, violence will not help. It will not help. It will get you a bad name. So let's sit down. Let's work out how we can overcome this grievance that you have and work on it. I'm part of you, but I don't want you to be breaking things. I don't want you to be hurting people. I don't want you to be burning things. Because you can't be doing that for your own nation. Will you allow your house to be burned? Will you allow your father to be injured? So we are a family. Put your things down, come with me, shake hands, and we'll sit together and work out how we can stop this. So we got together. Initially, they all gathered around. My men were very scared. But then the sensibility took place. They saw a person, an officer coming without his arms, talking to them in their language, what they understood, and trying to help them. So we worked out a manner in which violence was curbed and some sensibility prevailed, and initiated talks between the aggrieved and the policy makers.
That's a great.
So that's like this. Similarly in Kashmir Valley also, I had incidences as such, because that was the time when militancy was at its peak. I was a lieutenant colonel in charge of handling the internal security desk, anti-militancy operations, part of the army planning and of operations. And there were difficult times. There were times when you didn't sleep at all. There were times when most time you slept with your weapon. You didn't know, when you went out, you didn't know whether a bullet was coming for you or a bullet was missing you, but fortunately those bullets which flew never had my name on that. So, adversity will come. Adversity will come. But you got to take risks and you got to face adversity. And believe me, I still feel unless there is a difficult thing, I don't enjoy doing whatever it is. It's become a habit to face difficulty, smile at it, and then say, look, I'm the storm, you're not the storm. I will calm you. You cannot calm me.
I
That's
think,
right.
yeah, smile is the only thing that we can answer to everyone. Either it's anger, either it's, I can say, grieviness, anything. We can answer with one smile that will definitely handle everything, I believe
Yeah.
also. And so for today's generation, for this 21st century, everyone is believing that I don't want to work hard, but I want success as early as possible. Everyone. For this generation, everyone. I don't want to work hard. I don't want to listen. Whoever is like guiding me, I don't. I just want success as early as possible. Whether my foundation, whether my, I can say, I am a skilled person or not, but I want success, I want money. So please motivate them as well as guide them.
Yeah. See, I've been interacting in my motivational leadership talks, TED talks, TEDx talks with young school, college students, with young corporate leaders. I personally believe that every generation is a better generation than the previous one because they've evolved with greater experience. But having said that, there is also the responsibility of the previous generation to pass down the goodness of theirs to the next generation. So if you find an odd person of the future generation looking at life differently or in a unethical manner or a shortcut manner, then I think it's not just him, it's his previous generation who have failed to put him on course. Because let me tell you, there is no shortcuts to hard work, right? This generation is very focused. They're very focused. They know what they want to be. But this generation is also a generation of WhatsApp. It is a generation of more online friends than offline friends. This is a generation who looks at the comfort zone of cut, copy, paste. This generation looks at Chat GPT giving solutions. So when this happens, then you dull your brain. It's all about body, mind, and soul. All three have to be attuned and of a level to achieve your dreams. Your body has to be physically strong, courageous. So unless you move out and you exercise your body and you make it strong, you'll be amazed how much your body can take, because it actually starts enjoying when it comes to the extreme level at which it can exist. Then it tells you what it actually can exist, how much physical fitness you can achieve in life. Similarly, mind fitness through hard work, through exercising your brain, through analysis, to be able to communicate, to be able to read. Unfortunately, reading and writing today as an essence of character building, as an essence of knowledge building, is losing focus. I'm all for digitalization because that's the way forward of efficiency, of technology, of an era where time is getting increasingly critical, but not at the expense of your brain power becoming a robot. You cannot be a robot. You have to work hard, you have to be fit, you have to think mentally. You may be a man of I talk of myself as man of heart and then the head, but the head doesn't close. So, and soul is all about spirituality. It's all about, at the end of the day, when you go to your bed, your pillow will speak to you, whether what you've done for the day is right or wrong. When you stand in front of a mirror, the mirror will never lie. So live in a real world, not in a digital world. Exercise your mental faculties and keep yourself physically and mentally fit. And keep smiling. Keep smiling because no road is straight. You will have speed breakers. Even an ECG has up and down. The minute it becomes straight, you are no more. So turbulence in life is part of life. It's how you make your journey enjoyable. It's how you make your journey memorable. And don't look at the next day. Make it today. Make it today. So that's my advice to the future youth.
Great, sir. And sir, just one question here. I just want to relate with everything. Who will rule the world? It's not about the defense technology. It's about the behavioral or personal, I can say, knowledge that we are providing or educating to the upcoming generation. As we know that we are totally too populated city or state or country, and because of that reason, we are not able to get the proper food, proper water, proper education system as well. So what's your thought and what's your message for the upcoming generation so that they can be aware about the brain drain that we are doing, that we are...
Okay, my first point in this regard is be a proud Indian. Be a proud Indian. Two, with that pride, do something for your nation as such. There is a quotation in the Chetwood, by Chetwood, in the Chetwood Hall in IMA, which basically, I won't quote that, but basically it says a country comes first, the comfort, welfare of your men comes next, and yours last. So therefore, always look at what you can do for your country, for your organization, for your family, and look at yourself last. That is important for the youth as such to be proud Indians. And today, I think things are evolving. Slowly, we have realized that we need to get back to our culture. Today, we have realized we need to correct history, not the history we were taught by the British, but the true history that exists today. We are learning that. Today, our education system is evolving. We got a new education policy which has been made and now passed as such. Today, you're looking at a nation where everyone is equal opportunities, everyone equates with the nation and not in cocoons. Look at Article 370, which breaks barriers of being different than the others. So today we are a nation where we are evolving. Maybe a little late that we evolved, but we are evolving. We are improving in all facets, whether it's in technology, whether it is self-reliance, whether in terms of talent. We've seen the ISRO success taking place, education, and slowly I think this brain drain and the lure of money and the lure of foreign firms taking away the best is going to be reversed. I've got no doubt in that. But it requires the nation to give opportunities to our youth. It requires the nation to use their talent in the correct direction and to respect their talent, not only by jobs and the emoluments that they are given, but also by the recognition that they get. It requires the nation to reduce the bureaucratic channels and ease of doing business, to give opportunities which do not lead to frustrations in time, which gives an opportunity for them to do what they want to do with full support. It requires a nation where there is hand-holding between all stakeholders, because unless that is there, I'm afraid you will not get the very best. But having said that, I am confident that the future lies in safe hands, and the youth of this nation will increasingly find greater happiness, greater joy, and greater success by working in India, for India, and being an Indian first.
Great, sir. And so just one question here for everyone, and just to answer, and hope you can answer to everyone in proper direction, that do we need to change our education system?
Yes. I do believe that the new education policy is something which is in the right direction. As such, there are many changes that have taken place towards giving a holistic education. But we must understand what is education. Education is not about giving degrees only. It is not about just qualifications. Education, to be holistic, is about knowledge, about making an individual a better human being. It's about imbibing in him the essence of life, the ethics of life, the morals of life, the dividing line between right and wrongs, and above all, teaching him to take pride in being an Indian and knowing his Indian culture. Every single fact, from Shunya to every exploration that has taken place, every technological exploration, every technological achievement that the world boasts of, has got the Indian seed in it. And that's why we need to imbibe that in our education system. Two, I do feel our education system must relook at reservations and relook at giving discounted packages because you as OBC or your scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, which does not necessarily give you your financial status. So, primary and basic education must be funded for all. It must be equal. Education opportunities must be equal. It should not be in terms of differentiation of entrance marks that you must attain. The baseline of qualification, if there's an entrance, must remain. Thereafter, depending on the financial standing, you can help them. Because everyone may not have the sort of money that is being asked for. That is fine. But you cannot lower reject a person with 78% and give someone with 52% entrance into a professional field. That is not the right way of looking as I see reservation. So no caste creed should ever rule a reservation. No lowering of standards should ever rule a reservation. And education system must focus on holistic knowledge as such, not just on degrees. Skilling must be part of your education. Things like we used to have Boy Scouts, NCC, basic such basic disciplinary fields. Games must be holistic. It's not that you carry a heavy bag, which is important. You must rub your shoulders on the field to understand what camaraderie is, what a team is all about. That is equally important. You must be told lessons where you learn, we used to call it moral science in our time, but to learn the goods and wrongs and the goodness of dealing with situations and becoming a holistic person. It's not necessary that you've got to be a topper to do well, but it's necessary to have a strong body, mind and soul and a good grounded knowledge base to move ahead in life.
That's a great, sir. And sir, today, or I can say in continuous, we are going to be, or we are promoting Made in India. And I believe that we are doing good for Made in India. Can you just give them the message to the audience or to the upcoming generation that yes, in upcoming future or in upcoming days, they will get definitely a great opportunity and we will definitely promote Made in India and will definitely reach to the, I can say, the good position or good step.
Okay, fine. Probably the last question, so I'll just close it with this. See, today, Atmanirbhar or Atmanirbhar Bharat is a strategic compulsion. You cannot look over your shoulders when you require that technology or your manufacturing skills as such. And you've seen today two of our most favored and the largest partners of arms supply, Russia and Israel, are both at war. So if today we have to go for war, we need to be self-reliant, self-sufficient. We have to do Atmanirbhar, self-sufficiency. And self-reliant and self-sufficiency by making India is not just a slogan. It has two facets. One is talent, second is technology. This is one factor. The second is a transition which will take place. A transition from made for India, make in India, and made by India for countries abroad. And this transition will take time. It also, a lot of policy changes have taken place, a lot of positives have taken place towards indigenization, towards make in India, startups, opportunities, and I think we are at a cusp of opportunities where we see the civil sector, not only in defense but in every field today, being opened up with increasing transparency, increasing equal opportunities as compared to public sector, who was earlier dominating the show as such and never allowing the private sector to come in. So, Make in India is happening. A lot needs to be done. We still need to cut down our bureaucratic channels. We still need to have a more collaborative approach, not only your government but all players, whether it is academicians, scientists, users, public as such. We need all involvement from all of them as such to make in India success. Policies are good, but policies are only as good as the change in structures, the change in mindsets of the decision makers and the policy makers. If you don't change their mindsets, if they don't make structures which facilitate the policy, then the policy just remains a policy and the end state doesn't come up as such. So, a very good thing, Make in India happening. It will take time. It must evolve. It must come up with modifications and greater policy manifestations to make ease of business, to translate policy to outcomes in a time-sensitive manner and translate outcomes into qualitative outcomes, which not only are the very best in the world, but also cater for India becoming an export-oriented hub, which is competitive in the global arena as such.
That's great, sir. So, what's your final message for everyone, for the upcoming generation, for the person who is, I can say, junior to you, and the person who wants to join to the armed forces?
Keep smiling, be a proud Indian, have broad shoulders, have a large heart, and have a straight spine. Look at yourself in the mirror every day. Don't fool yourself. Set your targets right and work towards your target with passion. That's all that I have. I think I wish you the very best. Each one of you is a leader. If you can breathe, you can lead. And if you can lead not only yourself, you can lead your men, you can lead your team, you can churn up more leaders to those levels which seemingly are impossible, but in actuality, with your perseverance, your hard work, your dedication and your focus, become I am possible.
That's literally great answer, sir, and that's literally great discussion, sir. Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone. आपका एक व्यूज बढ़ना, सब्सक्रिप्शन बढ़ना मुझे इतना मोटिवेट करता है कि मैं डिफरेंट स्ट्रीम्स के लोगों को यहाँ बुलाता हूँ, वो अपनी करियर, लाइफ जर्नी एंड मोटिवेशनल थॉट यहाँ पे आपको बताया, एंड उन्होंने अपने लाइफ के स्ट्रगल को या उन्होंने अपने लाइफ की जर्नी को कैसे जिया है वो आपको इजी वे में बताया, ताकि आप फ्यूचर में आप इसे इजीली हैंडल कर सको. तो थैंक यू एवरीवन एंड थैंक यू सर. जय.
Thank you. That's it.